Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamti Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhakti Naishaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 24, the renunciation of Kardamuni, text number 5 onwards. Maitreya Vacha Devhuti Api Sandesham Gauravena Prajapate Samyak Shraddhaya Purusham Kutastham Bhajad Gurum. Shri Maitreya said, Devhuti was fully faithful and respectful towards the direction of her husband Kardam, who was one of the Prajapatis or generators of human beings in the universe. O great sage, she thus began to worship the master of the universe, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart. This is a process of spiritual realization. One has to receive instructions from a bona fide spiritual master. Kardamuni was Devhuti's husband, but because he instructed her on how to achieve spiritual perfection, he naturally became her spiritual master also. There are many instances wherein the husband becomes a spiritual master. Lord Shiva also is a spiritual master of his consort Parvati. A husband should be so enlightened that he should become the spiritual master of his wife in order to enlighten her in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. And generally, Stri or woman is less intelligent than man. Therefore, if the husband is intelligent enough, the woman gets a great opportunity for spiritual advancement. So, again, this is Prabhupada's realizations and Prabhupada's understanding when he writes, women are less intelligent than the men. I mean, nothing against the ladies, of course, different qualities Prabhupada has again and again stressed on of ladies. So, but there are some physical and psychological differences which are there, which Krishna created. So we have to work accordingly. So here Prabhupada is referring to that husband can be a spiritual master of the wife if he is properly situated spiritually and he guides the wife on the spiritual perfection, on the path of spiritual perfection. And look at how Mother Devhuti is approaching Kardamuni. It wasn't out of in a fighting mood or in any other mood, but humbly she is approaching, she is glorifying her husband and humbly she is approaching him. And Kardamuni also is trying to give everything that he can for her spiritual advancement. Here it is clearly said, Samyak Shuddhaya, that with great faith one should receive knowledge from the spiritual master, and with great faith execute the performance of service. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, has specially stressed the instruction of the spiritual master. One should accept the instruction of the spiritual master as one's life and soul. Whether one is liberated or not liberated, one should execute the instruction of the spiritual master with great faith. It's also stated that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart. One does not have to seek the Lord outside. He's already there. One simply has to concentrate on one's worship in good faith, as instructed by the bona fide spiritual master, and one's efforts will come out successfully. So, Shuddhaya, that's how Devhuti approached Kardamuni. And Prabhupada is saying the disciple should also approach the spiritual master with faith and follow his instructions with faith. And that definitely opens the gate to the perfection, to the progress on spiritual life. Regarding that, I think I've told this incident earlier, but again I wanted to say that. So once Tamal Krish Maharaj in Bombay, he was in Mumbai, and somehow he had to go through a surgery. And Maharaj didn't want to disturb Srila Prabhupada by telling him, so Maharaj just went to the hospital to get operated upon. Srila Prabhupada, when he found out, Prabhupada, it was little late, but Prabhupada still took the car and went to that hospital. So by the time Prabhupada reached, Tamal Krish Maharaj had already undergone surgery, and he was put in the resting area, wherever the ICU or whatever it was. And Prabhupada went to see him. See, Prabhupada was so concerned about the well-being of his disciple. The Prabhupada himself went to the hospital to see Tamal Krish Maharaj. And when Prabhupada went there, Prabhupada told Tamal Krish Maharaj that I could have cured you without this. You didn't need this surgery. But Tamal Krish Maharaj, he was still under the influence of some anesthesia. He was a little drowsy. So he said, no, Prabhupada, I had to go through this and whatever. But he said, Prabhupada, when the surgeon gave me anesthesia and I was dozing off, I had a dream. I saw a dream. In the dream, I saw that you had gone to the previous Guru Parampara, like your Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj and Gaurkeshwar Das Babaji Maharaj, they were all sitting down, and you approached them and you were giving a report of your preaching activity. And Prabhupada was listening. And Tamal Krish Maharaj said, so I saw you giving them report, and you told your predecessor Acharyas that yes, my disciples, they don't know how to pronounce Sanskrit properly. They don't have proper etiquettes. They don't even follow the proper cleanliness. They cannot even chant properly. I know they have so many shortcomings, but they have one good quality. And because of that quality, I'll take them back to Godhead. And this is what Prabhupada was telling his guru and his guru and his guru, the whole Guru Parampara. And Tamal Krish Maharaj, and Prabhupada was nodding, he didn't say no. And Tamal Krish Maharaj said, then Prabhupada, you said that they have one good quality, and the quality is whatever I tell them, they do it without asking me any questions. And because of this faith, this surrender, I will take them back. So that is Prabhupada. And this is what Prabhupada is saying here. Execute the instructions of the spiritual master with faith. And that's it. So we also have the instructions by Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes we can doubt some place because we have this conditioned mentality. But we just go ahead and execute it. That's it. And another point that Prabhupada is making here. One does not have to seek the Lord outside. He's already there. One simply has to concentrate on one's worship in good faith, as instructed by the bona fide spiritual master. And then Krishna will manifest himself. So in this regard, I recently read in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, a wonderful narration. I had always thought of this, how does this work, but never got a clear answer. And recently I got a clear answer. How do yogis work? I mean, how do they make so much of advancement. And especially when we go in the higher planetary systems, then there's Swarglok, Janalok, Tapalok, Maharlok, Satyalok. How come the Tapalok is at such a high level? And Brahmaji also did tapasya, he meditated, and so many yogis, they sit down and meditate. So what's the point here? So in that story, when Gopkumar goes to Tapalok, the four Kumaras, they meet him over there, and other sages who were like expert in doing tapasya, meditation. So point they made was, even when they're telling Gopkumar, even if you go and take darshan of the Lord, and also you go and do some service for the Lord, which is good, there's nothing wrong with that. But unless and until our consciousness is purified, our internally mind is not in control, then even if we see the Lord, we won't see him properly. Even if we do some service for the Lord, we won't do the service exactly as devotion service that the Prabhupada would do. But just like, I mean, we all go and take darshan of the Lord. You go to in Delhi temple, take darshan of Radha Parasarthi. So would it be the same as if Prabhupada was standing there and taking darshan of Radha Parasarthi? No. Because his consciousness is completely different. Ours is different. And any person first time coming to the temple, or out of curiosity coming, or out of enviousness coming, out of anger if he's coming, when he sees that, takes darshan of Radha Parasarthi, he'll look at them completely differently. So this is what meditation and tapasya does. Of course, in Kali Yuga, this Hatha Yoga system has been completely, not completely, has been significantly taken out, because people cannot concentrate, cannot sit down and meditate like people in Satyuga used to do. But the process is perfect. The process is, unless and until we purify our mind, purify our consciousness, we cannot take the darshan of the Lord properly. Of course, Bhakti Yoga process is the process of mercy, process of grace. That when the spiritual master, like Prabhupada, and he sees us, like he said to Tamalkesh Maharaj, that because they do whatever I tell them to do, I take them back. So the disciple might not be qualified, that his consciousness is completely pure, that he is looking at the Lord with great love and affection, and he is serving the Lord with great love and affection. That might not be there, but the spiritual master can still take him back to Godhead. And looking at the Lord, the example was given of looking at the Lord by Duryodhana, or by Shishupal, or by Kansa, or by Dantavakra. They also looked at Krishna, but their consciousness was completely different. Arjuna also looked at Krishna, Draupadi also looked at Krishna, but their consciousness was completely different. So just the looking part is not everything. Consciousness, with what kind of mentality we look at the Lord, the deities of the Lord, or with what kind of mentality we serve the Lord, that makes a huge difference. So that is what we have to work upon. It's not like if we just keep on serving with faith, We'll develop everything. By mercy of Prabhupada, we can. By mercy of the Lord, we can. But at the same time, we have to put in our best effort to make the changes in our heart. So then if the heart is purified, the Lord will definitely give us darshan. He will come and sit in the heart and He will give us darshan. Not just of Himself, but of His pastimes also. It's also clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead does not appear as an ordinary child. He appears as He is, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. He appears by His own internal potency, Atma Maya. And how does He appear? He appears when pleased by the worship of a devotee. A devotee may ask the Lord to appear as a son. The Lord is already sitting within the heart. And if He comes out from the body of a devotee, it does not mean that the particular woman becomes his mother in the material sense. He is always there, but in order to please his devotee, He appears as her son. But that devotee also has to be very, very pure. Then the Lord will appear as her son. Tasyam bahutithe kale Bhagwan Madhusudana Kartamam Veryam Apanno Jagya Agnerev Dharuni. After many, many years, the Supreme Personality of God, Madhusudan, the killer of the demon Madhu, having entered the semen of Kartam, appeared in Devahuti just as fire comes from wood in a sacrifice. It's clearly stated here that the Lord is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although He appeared as the son of Kardam Muni. Fire is already present in wood, but by a certain process, fire is kindled. Similarly, God is all-pervading. He is everywhere, and since He may come out from everything, He appeared in His devotees' semen. Just as an ordinary living entity takes its birth by taking shelter of the semen of a certain living entity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts the shelter of the semen of His devotee and comes out as His son. Of course, in this case, he took shelter of the semen, but in the case of Krishna, when Krishna appeared, it is mentioned, he appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, and through the mind of Vasudeva, he transferred to the mind of Devaki, through the mind of Devaki, he transferred himself to the womb of Devaki, and then he just appeared. Lord Nrsimhadev didn't even bother about any parents. He appeared from the pillar. So it's all up to him how he wants to appear. This manifests his full independence to act in any way, and it does not mean that he is an ordinary living entity forced to take birth in a certain type of womb. Lord Narasimha appeared from the pillar of Hiranyakashipu's palace. Lord Varaha appeared from the nostril of Brahma, and Lord Kapila appeared from the semen of Kardama. But this does not mean that the nostril of Brahma or the pillar of Hiranyakashipu's palace or the semen of Kardama Muni is the source of the appearance of the Lord. The Lord is always the Lord, so He can appear the way He wants to, from wherever He wants to, but He still remains spiritual, transcendental, always. Bhagwan Madhusudana, He is a killer of all kinds of demons, and He always remains the Lord, even if He appears as a son of a particular devotee. The word Kardamam is significant, but it indicates that the Lord had some devotional affection or relationship in devotion service with Kardam and Devahuti. But we should not mistakenly understand that he was born just like an ordinary living entity from the semen of Kardam Muni in the womb of Devahuti. And just like in the shloka it says, after many, many years, he appeared in Devahuti. So whenever he wants to appear, he does that. Avadayam vyomni vaditrani ganagana gayanti tam sma gandharvam nirtyanti apsaraso muda. At the time of his descent on earth, demigods in the form of raining clouds sounded musical instruments in the sky. The celestial musicians, the Gandharvas, sang the glories of the Lord, while celestial dancing girls, known as Apsaras, danced in joyful ecstasy. So just like when Krishna also appeared, when we study about his appearance in 10th canto, he appears and all the directions became auspicious, all the auspicious planets and stars are lining up in the sky. Of course, Krishna, the Supreme Lord himself, is going to appear. The season became perfect, and the Apsaras and Gandharvas and everybody was dancing. It's a beautiful atmosphere when Krishna appeared. So now, similarly, when Lord Kapila is about to appear, look at all the demigods, they're dancing and singing in joyful ecstasy. Petu sumanaso divya khechara pavarjita praseduscha disha sarva ambhansi cha manansi cha. At the time of Lord's appearance, the demigods flying freely in the sky showered flowers. All the directions, all the waters, and everyone's mind became very satisfied. It is learned herewith that in the higher sky there are living entities who can travel through the air without being hampered. Although we can travel in outer space, we are hampered by so many impediments, but they are not. We learn from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam that the inhabitants of the planet called Siddhaloka can travel in space from one planet to another without impediment. They showered flowers on the earth when Lord Kapila, the son of Kardam, appeared. So this is how they appear. They come around the demigods and different planets, and they're welcoming the appearance of the Lord. Tad kardam ashramam padam saraswatya parishvatam swayambhu sakam rishibhir marichayandi abhirbheya. Brahma, the first-born living being, went along with Marichi and other sages to the place of Kardam's hermitage, which was surrounded by the river Saraswati. Brahma is called Swayambhu because he is not born of any material father and mother. He is the first living creature and is born from the lotus which grows from the abdomen of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Therefore, he is called Swayambhu, self-born. So he himself went to the place of Kardamuni's hermitage. So who is he? He is father of Kardamuni, and he is father of Swayambhuva Manu, and Devuti is daughter of Swayambhuva Manu. And Lord is going to appear from the womb of Mother Devaki, or he has already appeared. Bhagwantam Param Brahma Sattvenanshen Shatruhan Tattva Sankhyan Vigyapte Jatam Vidvanaja Swarat. Maitreya continued, killer of the enemy, the unbound Lord Brahma, who was almost independent in acquiring knowledge, could understand that a portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his quality of pure existence, had appeared in the womb of Devahuti just to explain the complete state of knowledge known as Sankhya Yoga. So when the Lord appears, not only his time and place and parents are mentioned, but his activities are also mentioned, what he's going to do. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, it is stated that the Lord himself is a compiler of Vedanta Sutra, and he is a perfect knower of Vedanta Sutra. Similarly, the Sankhya philosophy is compiled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his appearance as Kapila. There is an imitation Kapila who has a Sankhya philosophical system, but Kapila, the incarnation of God, is different from that Kapila. Kapila, the son of Kardamuni, in his system of Sankhya philosophy, very explicitly explained not only the material world, but also the spiritual world. Brahma could understand this fact because he is Swarat, almost independent. in receiving knowledge. He is called Sarat because he did not go to any school or college to learn, but learned everything from within. Because Brahma is the first living creature within this universe, he had no teacher. His teacher was the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, who is seated in the heart of every living creature. Brahma acquired knowledge directly from the Supreme Lord within the heart. Therefore, he is sometimes called Swarat and Aja. So it is mentioned that the Lord will appear and he will give this philosophy of Sankhya system. But there is another Kapil Muni, the sage Kapil, who gave an atheistic Sankhya philosophy. So once we study the Sankhya philosophy, when Kapil Dev will speak to Mother Devhuti, then it will be explained what was the difference between the two. And we can really appreciate the philosophy that Lord Kapil Dev gave. And here Brahmaji is also called Swarat because he did not go to school or college or had any tuitions to learn this philosophy or the philosophy of the Supreme Personality of God. Bhakti. He learned it on his own. His spiritual master was the Supreme Personality himself. Another important point is stated here. Sattvain Anshena, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he brings with him all his paraphernalia of Vaikuntha. Therefore, his name, his form, his quality, his paraphernalia, and his entourage all belong to the transcendental world. Real goodness is in the transcendental world. Here in the material world, the quality of goodness is not pure. Goodness may exist, but there must be also some tinges of passion and ignorance. In the spiritual world, the unalloyed quality of goodness prevails. There, the quality of goodness is called Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Another name for Shuddha Sattva is Vasudeva because God is born from Vasudeva. Another meaning is that when one is purely situated in the quality of goodness, he can understand the form, name, quality, paraphernalia, and entourage of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So goodness, the Shuddha Sattva platform that the Lord appears in, is the transcendental platform, or is also called Vasudeva Sattva, or Vasudeva platform, because Krishna appeared from Vasudeva. So anyway, to understand or to realize, or for us to be revealed the power, the pastimes, the name, quality, paraphernalia, everything related to the Lord, it will happen only when we also come at that stage of pure goodness. Not in this conditioned stage where we are hardly in goodness, we are mostly in passion and definitely mostly in ignorance. And in this passion and ignorance, we claim. Sometimes we claim, and sometimes others claim, others project us. Oh, he's a pure devotee, and he's at this level, and he's at that level. We know what our level is. We all are struggling on this path to make progress. That's all it is. Crux of the whole thing is this: we all are struggling. So to understand Krishna, even Arjuna told him, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam. You are Param Brahma, Param Dhama. Pavitram, Param Pavitra, is the supremely pure. Arjuna could understand Krishna's position. And that is why Krishna gave the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna only, not to the rest of the 18 Akshauhini Senas over there, or even Bhishma Dev or Dronacharya, Yudhishthira, Bhima, anybody else. Krishna chose Arjuna because Arjuna was at that level. Krishna chose Prabhupada because Prabhupada was at that level and Krishna chose him to deliver this message all over the world. So we are, of course, at the same time, we should be proud of being in the part of the movement of Prabhupada, but then again, it puts us in a big responsible position that we have to carry on with the mission of Prabhupada. The word Anshena also indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, appeared as Kapiladev in a portion of his portion. God expands either as Kala or as an Ansha. Ansha means direct expansion. Kala means expansion of the expansion. There is no difference between the expansion of the expansion, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, as there is no difference between one candle and another. But still the candle from which the others are lit is called the original Krishna. Therefore, is called the Parabrahman, or the ultimate Godhead and cause of all causes. So all the candles will give the same light, same candle power, but the original candle is still original. That's all. So others could be Kala or Ansha. So the technically Ansha means direct expansion, Kala means expansion of the expansion. That's all. Sabhajayan Vishuddhena Chetsa Tatchakirshitam Praharshya Rasubhi Kardamam Chetam Abhyagadhat. After worshipping the Supreme Lord with gladdened senses and a pure heart for his intended activities as an incarnation, Brahma spoke as follows to Kardam and Devhuti. As explained in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, anyone who understands the transcendental activities, the appearance and the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is to be considered liberated. Brahma, therefore, is a liberated soul. Although he is in charge of this material world, he is not exactly like the common living entity. Since he is liberated from the majority of the follies of the common living entities, he was in knowledge of the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he therefore worshipped the Lord's activities. And with a glad heart, he also praised Karta Muni, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Kapila, had appeared as his son. One who can become the father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly a great devotee. There is a verse spoken by a Brahman in which he says that he does not know what the Vedas and what the Puranas are. But while others might be interested in the Vedas or the Puranas, he is interested in Nand Maharaj, who appeared as the father of Krishna. So this verse, actually it is spoken by somebody in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the exact translation that Prabhupada has given in Chaitanya Charitamrita is even more sweet and more beautiful than Prabhupada what he gave here. So I'll try to post that verse and the translation. The Brahman wanted to worship Nanda Maharaj because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as a child, crawled in the yard of his house. These are some of the good sentiments of devotees. If a recognized devotee brings forth the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his son, how he could be praised. Brahma therefore not only worshipped the incarnation of Godhead Kapila, but also praised his so-called father, Karta Muni. And Karta Muni, of course, and Mother Devhuti also, they deserve all the praise because the Lord chose them to be his parents. Similarly, the Lord chose to come in the moment of Srila that started by Srila Prabhupada as the different deities and in the form of Harinam through his followers. So how glorious Prabhupada must be. We cannot even imagine. that still in his movement, in his various temples, new and upcoming temples, or in the house of his followers, the Lord is appearing constantly as Radha Krishna, as Gaur-Nitai, as Sitaram Lakshmana, as Jagannath Baldev, Subhadra, as Nrsimhadev. He is constantly appearing in different houses of the devotees of ISKCON. So how glorious Prabhupada must be, that in his moment all this is happening every single day. Some places they appear in Shaligram Shila, some places they go in Govardhan Shilas. If you just sit down and think about it, it is mind-boggling. How the movement started, how the movement grew at the time when Prabhupada was there, and how the movement is growing now. Prabhupada is physically he's not there, but he's still there. So now Brahmaji will start speaking, glorifying Gardhan Muni and Devahuti. So I think we'll take it up tomorrow. So today we'll stop here, see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. The nice class. Prabhuji, I just wanted to know that, as you said that, as I was explaining you that there's a nearby temple where there's a Bhagavad Katha is going on. And when you then say they just find out is it Mayavadi or how do we come to know that the person who's preaching us is a Mayavadi in a short, 4 days or 6-7 days can?
First of all, just check out his tilak. If it is a vertical tilak, he is Vaishnava. If it is horizontal, then he is Mayavadi. First of all.
Okay.
And then secondly, even if that tilak is not there or it's confusing, then you have to sit down and listen to what philosophy is speaking. Where if very nice katha they might be doing, very nice lectures, philosophy. In the end, if he says we all are God or we are going to become God, then he is Mayavadi.
Okay.
I know it's a little difficult to figure out. So, but if you just go listen to some pastimes, katha here, there, it's okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other question or comment? Okay, so we'll stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.